Gentlemen, welcome back to Becoming a Better Man. I'm Eli, and today I have a very interesting yet very important story to share with a very important lesson, primarily for you guys. But if you ladies are the breadwinner in your relationship, this can apply to you too, but primarily this applies to guys. This is the story of a married couple where the woman got fired from her job about a year and a half ago and now refuses to go back to work. And she just wants to stay at home and just be the housewife and take care of things around the house. And the man in this story I'm about to share with you folks here in a second is stating that our lifestyle is dependent on having a dual income. The lifestyle that they have, probably the house that they own and other things that they do, and maybe even other things they own, such as cars and stuff, it's dependent on both incomes. And now this guy is struggling to keep things afloat because his wife hasn't worked for a year and a half. She also lied to him that, she quit her job or was laid off her job. And instead of telling him the truth that she got fired because she didn't want him to get the wrong idea. I think you get the drift. This is a very important story for guys out there. If you've been married and you've gone through this, you're going to understand this. But this is also very important for guys that are in a relationship and you're considering marrying a woman, or let's say you're in a relationship and your girlfriend keeps hinting to you to pop the question. This is something you need to look at and talk about with your partner before you tie the knot, because once you tie the knot, if things start to change, that's going to absolutely affect your marriage. So let's get to the browser screen and let's go over this very interesting Reddit posting here. This is from the subreddit relationship_advice, and the original poster posts, my 32-year-old wife. He's 32, wife, 33. Lost her job a year and a half ago and refuses to find a new one. I'm thinking about getting a divorce. Well, brother, I don't blame you. She's changing the way that she's always been before you got married to her and during the first part of the marriage. Let's read what he writes. I and my wife, it should be my wife and I, bro. That's improper English, but who's counting, right? Have been married for 2 years and together for 10 years. Wow, 10 years. So you two have been together since she was 23 and you were 22. So this was probably your first real relationship, and the both of you don't have a lot of experience, right? And so, wow. At least you waited for 8 years before getting married. So obviously things were probably great before that time, and she was working, you were working, maybe you lived together, right? He says, I love her very much and do value this relationship. Well, you've been together for a long time, so I understand that. I have sought both legal advice and talked to close family/friends to evaluate my options. The purpose of this post is to gather some broader perspectives. Okay, well, let's see what he says here. My wife has had problems with work throughout our relationship, so you started to notice this while you were dating her. Should have been a red flag, brother, before you decided to tie the knot. She switched jobs frequently. Red flag, bro. She must be pretty hot and must be a great lover, bro, for you to overlook all that. Or she must be doing something else right. Whenever she quit, she would find a new job relatively quickly, and we continue to split bills and expenses. That's pretty good. That's excellent. 50-50, right? 6 months after getting married, she quit her job again. Wow. During this time, the COVID was pretty bad, and I was shocked where people very struggling to find work. You wrote this wrong, dude. I was shocked where people, I think you would say, we're struggling to find work. All right. This woman just left a good job. Okay. She told me she will find a different one that suits her better. Okay. Later, I found out that she did not quit, but got fired for misconduct. Ooh, red flag, big time. She lied to you. But, dude, she's been doing this throughout your relationship. Why did you end up marrying this woman when she had a history behaving this way, bro. Again, she must have been pretty hot. Sex must have been pretty good. Maybe you have a great relationship with her family. Maybe your family likes her. I don't know. Something was keeping you with her to, avoid all of these big red flags. From whom I found out this guy's from another country. Just knew this much. I'm reading it the way he wrote it, folks. So I asked my wife, what about this? And she said that she was unfairly fired and lied to me so I wouldn't think less of her. Well, it sounds like to me she wasn't unfairly fired. She just has a horrible attitude and doesn't like to work and is pretty lazy. And basically wants you to just be the beta male provider, bro. That's what it sounds like to me. I believed her and just left the topic because what's done is done. Well, bro, I don't know if you believed her or not, but you're so used to her being that way, even before you got married, that you just kind of said it is what it is, right? A few months later, she was still jobless, and I could see she wasn't really putting in the effort to find a new one as she used to in the past. I asked her once a month, and she said she is trying. That's a BS line there, bro. That's BS. It's been 1.5 years now. She hasn't found work, and from what I have witnessed, she hasn't even tried. She just says she is, but I can't see it. She's not doing anything, bro. She's just hanging around the house, and who knows? She could be hooking up with Chad and or Tyrone on the side while you're working, bro, and you're probably working OT to make up for her lack of income. Remember, women are liberated in the modern world. Women wanted equality. They fought for equal rights, okay? They wanted to be independent. So, yeah, they get equal rights. They're independent, right? They work for a little while, and now this woman gets in a relationship and no longer wants to work anymore. She's like, yeah, we have equal rights. Yeah, but you know what? I don't care. I just want my man to take care of me and me do nothing. It's not the way it works in the modern world. This is not the 1950s and, before that time where women were not liberated and were not able to do the things they're able to do today. Times have changed. At this time, I'm the one who is dealing with all the finances and all the pressure is on me. It sometimes feels like I don't have a wife, but a grown-ass dependent daughter. It's probably what it's like, bro. Bro, I mean, you are seeing this, but you haven't done anything about it for what, 10 years, bro? Wow. A few weeks ago, she came up to me and wanted to have a serious conversation. We sat down and she told me that she doesn't want to work anymore and that she has stopped looking for work. Oh, boy. She said that will do her half. I think you meant to say she will do her half by taking care of the home, and I could be the one that earns. So she basically wants you to be a traditional household, right? But nowadays, that really no longer exists unless you discuss that before you get married. Had she come to you before you got married, then you could have either agreed to this dude or not. But no, that's not what happened. You were working, she was working, you had a combined income, and you probably bought a nicer house because of the combined income. You probably bought nicer cars because of the combined income. And now she wants to stop doing her half and put it all on you. And she probably knows you're going to have to work a lot more hours, which you're probably already doing. And maybe she wants to go out and hook up with the Chads and Tyrones while you're at work. She's probably already doing that, bro. Wow. I did not agree with her. I don't blame you, bro. Good for you. I told her that I can't keep us afloat alone. Yeah, because before you got married and you two were probably living together and you had a combined income, that's how it worked. It was the same way for 10 years. Now, all of a sudden, boom, it's different. No. I told her that I can't keep us afloat alone with reference to our current living standard. Yeah, everything I just mentioned. The nicer home, nicer cars, etc. And if we have children, then there is no way for me to do it alone. So he's probably making okay money, but, he's not at the level yet where he could provide, with his wife not working and having kids. Maybe he's working his way up. But even then, she should still be working. Her response to this was that I should figure out something because she won't go back to work. That sounds like to me like she's not being a partner, bro. She's being like a roommate. or a daughter, like you said, right? She's being like a daughter, like a bratty little daughter, right? That's not getting her way, right? Or is trying to, you know, get her way in something unreasonable, bro. Good for you to put your foot down. For 2 weeks now, I have been talking to people and my lawyer about my options, and most of them have told me to just leave her. I agree, bro. I agree, bro. You should have left her a long time ago. You mentioned that she was the same way before you got married. So why'd you marry a woman like this? Because she's probably hot, the sex was probably great, and maybe you had a great relationship with her family and friends, etc., right? It was convenient, right? Maybe you two are in a codependent relationship. That's what I think it is. But we don't know. One can only assume, right? I also haven't had sex with her after this conversation just to remain on the safe side. So you're assuming she's hooking up with Chads and Tyrones. Bro, you're probably right. I'm going to give you a big round of applause for that, bro, because you just get it. Yeah. Oh, wow, wow, wow. All right. Let's continue here. What do you all think? What should I do? Dude, your grammar and your English is horrible, but you're probably from a different country. You should leave her, bro. File for divorce. You've only been married 2 years. It's not going to cost you that much. Probably going to have to sell the house and, split up any marital assets over the last 2 years. If she hasn't been working for a year and a half, you're probably going to lose a little more. But the longer you stay married to her, bro, the more you're going to lose. Get out now, bro. You still have time. I'm exhausted working and paying for both of us all the time while she thinks doing chores is a 50% contribution. Not in the modern world, bro. Both men and women do chores. Both men and women work. Both men and women are equal. That's the way it goes. That's what women wanted. You wanted to be liberated, you got it. Now you don't want to be liberated anymore. You got your equal rights, and now you're like, I'm just going to throw in my equal right wings, and I'm going to be a traditional 1950s and before type of wife. And you change your mind all of a sudden after you got married to him. Dude, this woman is taking complete advantage of you. This is probably part of her plan. Edit, I have a prenup. Oh! Big round of applause for the prenup! Wow! Brother, I gotta tell you, bro, that's the smartest thing you did. I don't really believe in prenups. At least I used to not, but nowadays you probably have to have one. And my lawyer isn't worried about my finances at all, but thinks that I would be better off financially without her. Yeah, because even though you have a prenup, and she's not going to get pretty much anything now or any spousal support or anything, maybe, who knows? We'll see what happens, right? Okay? You still are paying for her to live in that place. It's kind of like having a roommate that's not paying rent. That's all it is, bro. Get out now. Yep. Edit number 2. I read as many comments as I could, and I'm still reading them. I would like to make a few things clear. First, I don't think she is a bad person or had any intentions to leech off me. Bro, don't be naive. Bro, are you kidding me? This was her plan all along. Her behavior was like this since you started dating her. You mentioned that she's gone through jobs like they're water. Bro, wake up and smell the coffee, bro. Seriously, man. And dude, I don't know what her relationship was like with her parents. Maybe she was spoiled. Maybe she was entitled. I mean, you are in your 30s, so you're both millennials growing up in one of the most entitled, eras our world's ever had. But come on, dude. You don't think her intentions were to leech off of you? If that's not what her intentions are, she would still be trying to find a job or she would have found one. Maybe she could start her own business and work from home, bro. Why won't she do that? I wouldn't even care about all this if I didn't have a pay cut from 135K to 55K due to COVID. Wow. So you went from 135 grand to 55K. You know what, bro? That's a blessing in disguise, in my opinion. Because if you were still making 135K, which you'll end up making that soon again, bro, right? then you would just let this slide and let her stay at home all day while you work. And who knows what she's doing and who she's doing it with while you're at work, bro. That's a blessing in disguise, bro. You're going to earn your money back once you divorce her. Which the living standard we had and my current pay, I think you meant to say with the living standard we had or have, and my current pay, I can barely support that standard on my own, but in no way will be able to do so if we have children. Yeah, bro. Well, I'm sure by the time you would have children, you'd probably get your payback, right? Or find a different job. Sounds like, you have a lot of experience regarding what you do, even though you haven't mentioned it. To make that amount of money, that's pretty good. Okay? But here's the thing, bro. You gotta worry about getting her pregnant. Like, honestly, dude, if you're gonna sleep with her or have sex with her, I would wear a condom. And not inseminate, not complete the deposit, to put it, politely. So, dude, you got to be careful, because right now, this woman, if you have sex with her, even if she says she's on birth control or something, she's probably getting off of it. She's going to try to trap you, bro. You got to be real careful here. Okay? This is why she needs to step up. I agree. Some of you have brought it up that she might have mental illness problem going on, which I've discussed with her multiple times, even before getting married. I don't think she has mental illnesses, because if she did, you would be much more triggered and irritated. You would be mentioning that. I think she's very spoiled and entitled, and that stems back to the way she was raised, bro. And you should have noticed that during the first 8 years you were dating her before you got married. She was certain that she is fine and doesn't need therapy. It's probably true. She's just spoiled and entitled, bro. She hasn't learned responsibility, bro. And you should have seen that the first 8 years. You mentioned it, and you let it slide. I can only suggest, at that time, I made decent money, and since I owned the house, finances weren't really an issue. Did you buy the house before you got married? So, if you got the house before you got married, and that's probably why you got a prenup, you should be fine, bro. She might get some spousal support, but it's not going to be much. And you don't have children, so there's no child support. Dude, get out now. It should be relatively easy and not cost you that much, if anything at all, because of your prenup. For now, I know I can't have children with her. Either she steps up, we wait for my pay and benefits to be restored, or I bail. No, dude, you bail. If your salary goes up, bro, she's going to continue to take advantage of her. And because you're not going to be as stressed out, making less money, you may be more prone to let it slide, which you shouldn't. Whether you make $135K, $200K, $500K, $30K, regardless of what you make, dude, she's not with you for the right reasons. Get out now. Now. These are the only options I see right now. After my mid-20s, this is the first time I am concerned about our financial position, and that is extremely stressful. It hurts that she doesn't give a fuck. Bro, you're being too nice of a guy. You're being a beta man provider, provider. You're being a beta man provider, bro. Have a spine. Stand up to her. You don't get a job within the next 2 months, I'm divorcing you. It's over. I love you, but you're being very irresponsible. And I don't feel you're supporting this marriage as much as I am. It's a two-way street. And if she says, well, if you love me, then you'll work harder and make more money so I can stay home. Dude, that's not having the right partner. Bro, get out. She doesn't give a fuck. She never did, bro. The major purpose of this post was to find a reason to keep going. There's no reason to keep going, bro. Get out. Since everyone I know in real life wants me to get a divorce because she's not with you for the right reasons, bro, she's taking advantage of you. I thought maybe a larger audience would view this differently. 90% here also feel like divorce is the way. Only 90%, bro? It should be 100. I'll get to the comments here in a second. As I said, I have already talked to a lawyer and have evaluated my options. Am I going to tell her this right now? No. Why not? What's the delay, bro? Be a man. Man up for once, dude. You're acting like a beta man. And she's probably lost respect for you, bro. That's why when you talk with her about this, she doesn't listen. She doesn't fear losing you, so she's taking advantage of you, bro. You don't have a freaking spine. Get a spine, brother. Come on. I don't want her to feel pressured into making a choice. Bro, pressured into making a choice? She's not in this marriage, bro. She's taking advantage of you. Bro, are you there? Wow, think McFly. Think McFly. If you don't know the McFly reference, you haven't seen the movie Back to the Future. This is a Think McFly moment. God, man. I will have one last conversation with her, and if she shows she's willing to improve, I am here for her. I'm not just talking about getting work. Even if she agrees to go to counseling and go to a therapist, I'll see that as an improvement, and maybe that'll be the motivation. I need to push a little longer. No, dude. You need to sit down with her one last time and say, look, I'm giving you 2 months, 3 months at the most to get a job. And if you don't get a job within 3 months, I'm filing for divorce. This is not what I signed up for. We're a partnership here, okay? And you know what? I just don't feel like you're doing your part. I feel you're putting this all on me. And a marriage is a two-way 50-50 street. This is 100% me and 0% you. That's what you tell her. If she cries and whines, then you just file for divorce right there. If she says, you know what? I'll get a job as soon as possible. Sorry, babe, right? Then you see what she does. If she doesn't get one within 3 months, then boom, you file for divorce, you're out. Divorce is a last resort, but I've been trying for a year and a half now. I'm willing to stick around half a year more, and if there's no progress, I'm out. Well, that's 3 months longer than I would stick out. I'd give her 2 to 3 months to get a job, or I'd leave her. And if she doesn't want to get a job after you give her those 2 to 3 months in a conversation you'd have with her, then I would leave her at that point. Dude, God. Edit number 3. I don't know what the misconduct was. She isn't ready to tell. Maybe with time. I just know it was severe enough that she got terminated on the spot, and her company refused to give a recommendation letter when she asked for one. It sounds like to me she's spoiled and entitled, doesn't take her job seriously, dishes off her work to other people, probably comes in late, okay, doesn't get her projects or work done on time. Bro, you need to get out. This is not a good woman. She may not be a bad person. She just has a huge lack of responsibility, bro. She's very irresponsible. She's very immature, and she's very spoiled and entitled, bro. It's time to get out. All right, let's take a look at a few comments before we wrap this up. You tell her that if she won't pull her weight, you're going to pull the plug. I agree. I agree with that. I figure at this point, she won't see reason. She didn't give him an ultimatum, just said, figure out yourself. At least when original poster serves the papers, he can chime in that he figured it out. That's pretty funny. I'll give you a big round of applause for that. Yeah, that's pretty funny, man. This dude deserves to crack a joke at her expense after what he's been through here. If you have to tell your spouse it is too late. I think you meant to say that it is too late. Misspell. You know her goal and it doesn't match yours. Well, she's just not contributing anything at all to the marriage. Nowadays, because women are liberated, okay, both the man and the woman should be working. And if they're not going to work, you need to decide that before you get married, right? Not after you get married. Don't fool the guy into marrying you and then just use him as a beta male provider. Bro, you're nothing but a beta male provider right now. Do it anyway. You seem to have mentally checked out already. Well, this is probably his first relationship. He's been with her and she's been with him since their early 20s. They probably both don't have a lot of experience. And he's just trying to figure it out. If it was me in that situation, I would have checked out a long time ago. Not a good idea. She will pretend to work until she can baby trap him. Divorce, in my opinion. Right, until she can baby trap him. I'm going to give you a big round of applause for that. That's what I said. I'm telling you, if you're going to be intimate with her, use a condom and take that condom and dispose of it where she can't get to it. I am telling you, this woman is going to try to get pregnant by him to keep him around. This is a bad situation. Let me read one more before I wrap this up. I dealt with a very similar situation with my now ex-husband. He lost his job, couldn't find work for nearly 2 full years. This sounds like my ex-girlfriend Dana's husband. And said he'd pick up the slack in the home while I worked and that he would go back to school. Well, the house was a constant mess that I would clean when I got home from managing a department and a 2+ hour daily commute. Wow, it sounds like this woman on the flip side, who was being the provider, was having the same issues with a very, irresponsible, husband. I nearly had a mental breakdown from the stress of supporting us, and I did end up having to file bankruptcy from it because his inability to find work carried on for so long. Sorry about that, man. That does happen. Wow. He also was taking classes and failing, so he racked up tens of thousands of dollars of student loan debt with nothing to show for it, and the only reason I found out was because he lost his financial aid. Meanwhile, the entire 2 years, he lied to me about everything he could, and he gave zero support back. He was probably banging some other chick too, man. I'm sorry to say that. I can say this to tell you that unfortunately she has established a pattern of selfishness and lies. And these are things that, at least in my very similar experience, show how little she values you or your marriage. Well, she doesn't respect the guy or care about him deeply at all. She's very spoiled and entitled because that's the way her family raised her. That's what I think happened. He should have already noticed this long before he got married to her. But she was probably very hot, very cute, and giving him constant sex and basically, setting him up for this, right? Grooming him for this, right? You deserve better, and she needs to learn the honest lesson of taking care of herself because that's not your job and that's not a partnership. Wow, could not have said it better myself. Let me go back to full screen here before I wrap this up. I know of a few people at this point. I have lots of friends and lots of friends that are dating and living with their partner. They've been living together for years. And it's so interesting how the women that they're living with keep asking the guy, when are you going to pop the question? Or they keep hinting the guy to pop the question. And the reason why these guys don't pop the question after even living with their girlfriend for a while is because they see some kind of lack of responsibility. They see some red flags that they're hoping the woman is going to turn around. And if not, then eventually it'll probably just end the relationship because there's so much information online on the internet, especially out here on YouTube, where a lot of creators like me are sharing these stories, and guys are really beginning to see the light regarding what the beta male provider is. And these guys don't want to be the beta male provider. They don't want to enter into a contract between the state and him and his wife to be, right, or if he gets married to her, it'll be his wife. They don't want to enter into that contract, especially if they're the breadwinner. It's going to cost them, right? And so, guys, here's my advice. If you're going to get married, I would only marry a woman that has been consistent with the way she is from the beginning of the relationship up until the point where you're going to get married. And if you get married, you need to see how consistent she's going to be for the first year or two after that, right? Okay. And when I say consistent, she's there, contributing as much as possible. Even if you're the breadwinner as a man, and let's say you're making $100,000 and she's making $50,000, that is okay. That is not a problem. As long as she's striving to make more, right, and doing other things to make up for it, no problem. And as long as she's being good to you, she helps you keep the house clean, she's very sweet, she's very supportive, she doesn't complain, she's easygoing, easy to get along with, doesn't expect too much, is just happy to be with you. And if she's like that, then that's marriage material. But you have to look at, the consistency of that. She just can't be that way until you get married or throughout the first year of your relationship, and then year 2 or 3 or 4, you're living together before you get married, she changes. You have to look at that. You have to look at a woman's consistency. Same for you ladies. You have to look for a man's consistencies. And if you're both consistent for 2, 3, 4 years of being together, and at least half that time you're living together, you want to live together for at least a couple of years before you get married. If the consistency is there for 3 to 4 years, and at least half that time you're living together, it's there, consistent on both ends, from the man and the woman, then that may be somebody good to marry, or you two may be good to marry each other. If not, you're going to have issues. So that's my thought regarding that. I want to thank you all for taking the time to view this video. Guys, and even gals that may come across this, women, ladies, you can learn from this material too, even though it's primarily catered towards men. But please like, share, subscribe, bang the bell, select all notifications, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.